I don't know how well that showed up or didn't show up.
It did wonderful.
I am in sunny, okay, I'm in sunny Puerto Rico, so my internet is, so when I move here, I'll have to get better internet.
Yeah.
Welcome to this. I'm Vidovich.
And I'm Amy Nubson, and we are so excited to have you on the call today because we are talking about wins, right? Successes, talking about ourselves in a positive way, showcasing our abilities to shine and then letting other people know about them, right? And Christina, tell me, like,
Yes.
what have you experienced and why do people shy away from telling people their wins or their successes?
It is so funny that we as women, we get the award and we're like, oh, okay, now what do I do with it? I'll just stick it on this shelf and, and it's like, instead of going, you know what, I'm going to take a picture, let's post it, let me call my mom, because moms love those stories. And just letting people know and show why, it's like there's this unwritten piece of embarrassment and like, oh, I can't be the best. I don't want to stand out because then people will stop and look at me and point, and then making a big deal of myself. And I can't do that as a woman, as a girl. I shouldn't stand out. I need to blend. It's this programming that we've been given. And it's like, oh, it's time to undo that programming. You won the award for a reason. You are invited to the stage for a reason. You are brilliant. Speak your piece, share the post. It's okay. Give yourself permission. We'll give it to you.
Right? You know, I think that's so true because that's how I grew up, that programming, right? And obviously you did too, because you know and understand the programming. But it's kind of like you look at everybody else and you kind of feel envious. You're like, oh God, I wish I could stand up and just do that, be proud of who I am. And you're like, but you can. You know, that's the thing I learned over these years is like, wait a minute, I can show up. I can, it's not bragging to share that you won something or you've accomplished something you've been working so hard to do. It is not bragging. Because I don't know how many times I heard that my job said, stop bragging. Stop bragging. And then eventually I didn't know how to communicate it any other way. So I just stopped it. And the funny thing is you don't realize as an adult how you bring that forward into your life. And you're like, wait a minute, I do know how to communicate better than my 8-year-old self. Like I can communicate this in a very powerful way now. So why not?
Yes, exactly. We joked about saying, oh, telling, think about it. First person in your life who was celebrating, oh, you did a good job, or your teachers that were giving you the gold stars, but the teachers aren't around to give you the gold stars anymore. It's okay to give yourself that gold star. You worked hard for it. I mean, look at, someone who's gone through law school, someone who's gone through medical school. They proudly shine that diploma that they worked so hard for on the wall of their office, be it a home office, be it a work office. But why can't we do that for ourselves? We can. Oh, I got this certificate for perfect attendance. Put it on the wall. It was given to you for a reason.
Well, that certainly wouldn't have been mine, but but yes, that's the thing, or it's something even as small as like a personal win. We can share those as well. Like you managed to, maybe it was a goal that you had and you're like, I'm not going to spend any money this week. Well, do you know how hard that is to do? I've actually tried to do it and it's really difficult not to spend any money. You're like, but I kind of need gas. Does that count? and you start to wonder, and it's a hard thing to do in a week, right? So that's a celebration, that's an excitement, that's a personal win. Those little things is just as big as going to college and finishing or accomplishing and learning something new. Especially when you're in your past 40, learning something new should be super celebrated. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And I know we're going to talk about some of our wins. And it's funny because as I'm listening and thinking to myself, very, very moment, if you follow me on LinkedIn and Facebook, I'm posting those pictures of me and the selfies I take with women or the men that I meet at these conferences I go to. And I find it really interesting for me because as I'm sitting here going, what is one of the reasons I do it? Is because I know how hard it is for some people to come up and say hello. It is hard sometimes to make that introduction to a stranger. At some point in life, learn to get over that, my hair isn't outfit. I'm, whatever these weird things that go through your mind that have nothing to do with anything. To get my doorbell is ringing. To get you through those moments and just go, no, I'm about to connect with somebody here in this moment and feel the energy. And I have no idea what's going to end up happening from this conversation. And just that little bit of bridge of going stranger to friend, a smile and a hi, my name is.
Yeah. Simple things in our lives can make the biggest differences. And not allowing ourselves to stop, to become visible, to engage with the world. That's, to me, has been the greatest success to my journey of, if you want to say happiness or joy, is really those little tiny steps. And it's really quite easy when I'm an introvert extrovert, right? So I love meeting people, but I also love my space. But when I put myself out there and meet new people, that is when I come home energized and excited. And my husband's like, wow, who did you meet? I'm like, everybody and nobody, like at the same time. Like it really didn't, it was just the act of meeting them, getting to know who they are. It didn't need to be somebody fancy or somebody famous. It's just somebody new that I got to connect with.
Yeah. And, I think about, it's like, well, what are we going to talk about? What is, again, when you're networking and people and that, it's like, well, craft your elevator pitch. Well, don't worry. Amy and I've got you on that. We'll help you craft that elevator pitch, that 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, depending on the event, introduction to yourself. And honestly, when I started going to the conventions, I didn't have that. People would ask me what I do, and I'd start laughing. I'm like, I don't know where to begin. And they're like, well, that's okay. What is it that you do every day? And I'm like, well, I sit in front of my computer and I create podcasts. Well, okay, there's the beginning of a conversation. And so you never know. And, that conversation starter. And what's the easiest way to get a conversation starter? I learned this tip from other people. Ask questions. Oh, you have a podcast? Tell me about your podcast. Yes. So now you have that invitation into somebody's life to get to know them better. And then sometimes just that warm up will help you go, okay, this is a human on the other side of this conversation, ready to engage with you. So You don't need that pitch right away. You can figure out where the conversation goes.
And I agree, Christina. I think some of the greatest skills I learned was how to ask a good question, an engaging question, a question that sets the person up to success. Since we're talking about success, right? We don't want to trick them into a question. we want to give them success in order to answer it, or give them something to ponder to really answer that in a more full way, instead of like, what do you do? Oh, I do marketing. Like the conversation can just stop, right? Set them up for success. Go, what is the I love asking this question. What is your favorite thing you get to do every day? And they're like, oh, and then they have to think about it, which I'm patient, I wait, and they're like, I get to do this. And the change in the energy just shifts so much more quickly versus like, oh, this is, it's so much more fun when you ask the right question for a successful answer in relationship. And it's easy to think about, and you always have those questions no matter where you go, and it becomes fun engaging with people.
Exactly. And it's so interesting because the last podcast conference I was at is they talked about the interview. Don't ask yes, ask those questions of like, oh, where did that concept come from that you decided to do this? Just like you said, what is it that inspired you? I mean, the story can go on and you can learn much more. I love those ordinator type of questions, that dig a little bit further back and you get to know somebody's journey of how did they get here today. And just wow, because we find those common elements. We've all been through journeys in our life. We started somewhere, we're here somewhere in the middle, and we're continuing somewhere next. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's, a conversation with anybody is wonderful. And you can even ask people, like, what is your like, what was the greatest win you had this week? I've asked people that too, and they're just like, oh, because we don't always get asked that either. Like, what was the thing you're the most proud of that you accomplished this week? And they're like, because in the kind of, I always want to talk about it, but I never know how to approach it, right? So if somebody asks you, they're giving you permission, they're inviting you to get to answer. And then of course, if you're the person asking, be really truly interested in the questions you ask. That's the other thing. Be kind to the other person, right? But I love asking those kind of questions because it's not a normal question you get asked often. And sometimes we have to think about it because it's not in the front of our mind of like, what was my win this week? I don't know. Because we're operating on a day-to-day life and we're just keep going and you just keep going. And you're like, so it's sometimes nice to have somebody help you stop and think about that.
Right. And again, just like you said a moment ago, the wins can be anything. Sometimes the wins are simply, oh my gosh, I got out of bed this week and I didn't hit snooze.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It can be the simplest or the most extravagant win. It doesn't matter. It's the idea of celebrating it. And let's talk a little bit about celebrating. I was never comfortable celebrating myself, not even on my birthdays or, like it was never a comfortable thing for me to be in the focus. And I had to really sit with myself and go, why am I so uncomfortable with this? Why am I avoiding it? Why do I do things specifically to kind of get out of the limelight of it's no big deal. And then that's the other thing. I had to break a habit, go, it's no big deal. Don't worry. That is the worst thing to say about yourself. It is a big deal.
Yes.
And I now celebrate my birthdays and people think it's a little bit funny. They're like, you're really like, and as I'm getting older, I'm like, my birthdays become more important. And people are like, that's different. And I'm like, no, it's about me today. It's all about me. And I own that day because I never did as a child. And I'm like, I love today. This is my day. Yes. So
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. Again, one of those fun things we have in common because it's true. I was like, okay, when I had my birthdays, I'm like, but my reason was different. Mine was about don't call me just today because it's my birthday. If you love me, call me anytime. If you're my friend, call me anytime. It's like, don't make it because it's my birthday. But now, heck yeah, I know who's calling me on my birthday, who's leaving messages and who isn't. Yes, I am totally aware of that. And it's a fun thing because, yeah, if we're not going to celebrate ourselves, who is? So, woo woo, I celebrate you, Amy.
I celebrate you. Yes, and you could just celebrate today in a very fancy place. I love it.
I'm very, very happy to that's my win for this week, is getting stuck in Puerto Rico. And I want to go ahead and yeah, I know, stuck. So I want to take this moment and have our midstream roll to talk about I'm finding it right now. Here we go. Our visibility accountability that we have every 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
Share your story, own your name, step in the light, ignite your flame, show up, shine out, it's time to be heard, flip fear into power with every word, visibility, accountability, we write a wild new legacy.
All right, there we go. So tonight is about celebrating our wins. So you can look in the description. We have the links where you can just sign up. We'll send you an email with the Zoom link. And we meet every Wednesday. I had a couple people who are like, are you doing this every Wednesday? I said, yes, we are. It is amazing. We have so much guidance and fun that we're having on these calls. And we talk about our social media presence. We talk about our storytelling and our speaking and ways that you can get comfortable taking that inner space out into the world and saying, yes, this light can shine on me. So tonight we want to share your events that you have coming up, something that you're thinking about. Should I go? Shouldn't I go? But celebrating your wins that you've had this year. We can say it, right? It's almost the end of January this year. What are your wins?
It is kind of, yeah, we are right there, aren't we? And it's been a different January for most people. And January is one of those interesting months as we shifted from the old into a new cycle of, your business is, you're working on taxes for the last year and then you're moving into the new year. There's so many transitions that happen in January that are just part of our everyday lives. But for me, January always comes and it's so fast. There's so much going on. And then you're looking into new budgets, new ideas, new strategies, like all these things. And at the end of January, I almost needed to take a pause and go, oh, okay, look at what I accomplished this month. And it was so fast. And it's always so cold here that you're just like, I need to celebrate January, right? Because it's not a month that I'm like, woohoo, I don't get to be in the nice sunny warm weather. So I'm like, I tend to want to just kind of curl up and just let it pass by.
Yeah.
And we should never let our lives pass by.
100%. And it's so funny because that was the post I put up the other day was, you still have 11 months. We try to cram so much into January. I've got to get this done and that done and this done and that done and it's okay. And you're really right with that. It's just wow. How many phone calls have you? Yes, it's January. I have to do this. And if you didn't get it done, It's okay. There's still more time. So
There's a
celebrate
lot more
what you
time.
have. Yes. And it's just like you said, January does, it goes by so fast. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's July. Next thing you know, oh, it's October. So, but when we stop and we pause, we can realize just how much we've done. If you tore sheets out of your notebook, if you've been crossing things off your list, you've got some things done. And those are wins right there. Crossing it off your list, even if it's one thing today, is a win.
Yes.
So
And
celebrate.
it is amazing when you think of it that way, how many wins we have a week, a day, an hour even. Like there's a lot that we accomplish, and we just assume that it's no big deal. And it's not. Every day, every action, every thought moves us forward. And so we need to look at that. And like I said, January is really quick for me and all my clients. And when I'm coaching my clients, I'm not a big believer of goals. I don't really like setting limitations or expectations on goals. I set intentions. Like, what are we trying to accomplish? Like, what is the end goal that we are, and I really focus on that. The goals can change and adapt, but the intention is what really matters and what I focus on. And I'm always amazed at the women's intentions. And I'm like, that's so much more beautiful than, accomplishing a simple goal. So think about how you're setting yourself up in January. We do set up a lot of ways that a lot of times in the past, I set myself up for failure almost every January. And then by February, usually about Valentine's Day, when you finally kind of calm down, you're like, and then the whole romance thing, and you're like, I'm exhausted. Like it's only February, the middle of February, you're like, okay. Getting that gym membership that they push so hard, and you're like, I haven't gone once. Or those goals, I don't set those anymore. My intention is to be healthy and consciously aware of how I treat my body. That's my intention. And I feel good every day about that, because I'm like, I might have made the wrong, but my intention was always there for the greater good of myself.
Yes. And it's interesting, with that milestones. It's like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And if we don't stop to take account of those milestones along the way, we've missed the point. We've missed our growth. We've missed all the beautiful little things in between that we were learning or gaining in the middle. It's like if you're driving, let's say across country, if you're only thinking about going from DC to Minnesota, all I can think of, is I have to get to Minneapolis. I've got to get there by June 2nd for the 3rd and 4th conference. June 3rd and 4th. Slid that in there. But it's like, no, my mother lives halfway in between in Cleveland. I need to stop and, spend a day or two with my mother. I have friends along the way I can have lunch with. And I can make that trip instead of oh my goodness, all the way there, road blind from just that, I've only one point in my mind. But make it is, wow, these are the little things I can do to celebrate that. Because when I get there, and we're going to have some fun, June 3rd and 4th in Minneapolis.
Oh yeah, which is also very close to my birthday, so we can celebrate me at the end. So, but that's the thing. Is like, why not? Like road trips to me, I love road trips, and I take a different path every time. because I want to see something new. I want to see something odd. I mean, one time I had an interaction with a goose, and my husband's like, "Oh my God, you and that goose," and we still talk about it, right? You're like, yeah, that goose had attitude,
And they do.
They really do. And he was like, okay, we're going to leave now. Like he's trying to protect me from this goose, right? But that's the thing. If we wouldn't just stopped in this small town in Missouri and went for a walk, I wouldn't have had this experience with this goose, right? That's the little tiny things. I don't remember the drive, that 8 hours to get me there. I remember the story and the interaction that I had. Those are the interesting things about life. Yes, I got to my destination. But the other thing that I've learned too about ourselves is we always think that the drive is the end goal, right? It's what the chemicals in our brain are going in, where the dopamine and all the adrenaline and all that. It's not. It's actually the journey that gives us that kind of high chemical. That's what we want. That's why when you see people that get their dream and they just go, now what? You need to make a new dream. Because it's the journey we're actually craving. And it's the journey we stop and forget to look back and experience and celebrate and just go, wow, look at me. Look what I just did. And there's so much more to go.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting because I think about those times for myself, and I know people give that advice. Yourself out. You've done. Let's go past the point that you accomplished it. Where are we now? So let's let ourselves continue on that journey, and let's start allowing ourselves to celebrate our win now, because life is going to go on. So wherever it is, just live.
Well,
I'm thinking of, yeah, please.
Oh, I was going to share my win, because that was such a perfect lead into it. The idea that life keeps happening, right? And my greatest goal always was to lose weight. I was over 300 pounds. I wasn't miserable. I wasn't unhealthy with my numbers, but I just was like, I want to feel better in my own body. I want to make sure my life as I continue, as I age, is healthy and movement is easy, right? So weight is a big deal with that. So my weight loss journey was really about engaging in life. And I'm like, this is how I'm going to step it up and honor myself. I'm going to lose this weight. And it has been a long journey. It's been years in the making. And I am over 100 pounds under. Oh, I'm just hit my 100 pounds this week of weight loss. And so when you look at that journey, it's kind of embarrassing to be like, oh my God, that's where I started. Thank you. But I used to be super scared of telling people that. I'm like, no, it's every one of us have a journey like that inside us that we want to accomplish, we want to do. And I mean, it was multiple different things that got me here. But again, it was that intention of I did it because I wanted to honor my body. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to engage in a world, and I wanted to be able to go to England and walk faster than the senior citizens there, because trust me, when I went to London, I was not walking faster than the people with walkers. I was slower the first time. And I was like, wow, I need to get out and walk. You get a different perspective, and you're like, I want this. I want to be able to hike up a hill and not be out of breath. I want to be able to see the journey and the beauty of nature, but I need to be able to get there. Yes. That's what drove me, not the weight loss itself, not the scale, not the number. It was what I got to do and the people I got to do it with.
Yes. And what is so beautiful Congratulations, Amy, on that.
You.
So yes, 100%. Again, let's celebrate Amy and her win, because that is not an easy journey. We know it's not an easy journey. I mean, we have all been in some form of fashion, so we know. And the beauty is the vulnerability it takes to share some of those wins. So I thank you for sharing that with me and with others who are watching and listening. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just knowing that my journey's not over, right? It's still there. It's still going on. And I'm okay with that. I'm loving this journey because I'm doing it because of how I choose to do it. And that's what we want for you. We want you to choose it. We want you to see it and go, yeah, of course, yesterday I just had a really bad day, so I had an ice cream. Who cares? That's okay. It's life, right? We talked about that. Life keeps happening to us. But it's those moments we keep choosing to move forward and to see things and go, I got this. I can do this. And those wins are such an important part of that journey to keep us motivated and moving forward.
Yes. So come celebrate with Amy and me tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. For our Visibility Accountability Group, we're going to have so much fun celebrating you and your wins. So until tonight and until next week, this is Visibility Strategy with Christina and Amy.
And Amy, yay.
Share your story, own your name, step in the light, ignite your flame, show up, shine out, it's time to be heard, flip fear into power with every word.